Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us in today's Hachaim shir. We're continuing in Parshat Chayei. We're in Perek Chav Daled, Pasuk Yud Aleph. We're going to go through in the Hachaim the whole story of Eliezer traveling to find a wife for Yitzchak, the tefillah, the prayer that Eliezer davened to find the right wife for Yitzchak. What exactly was Eliezer looking for? What were the important qualities that he felt would be important for someone to marry into the family of Avram? Remember, Eliezer already knew that the future wife of Yitzchak would come from Avram's own family. But there were certain specific qualities that he was looking for, of not only that would show that that individual comes from Avram's family, but that individual possessed the right midos, the right character traits to marry into the family and to continue the lineage, the line, would eventually have to be Yaakov Avinu, and eventually the Shvatim and Klal Yisrael. And also, how did Eliezer know that Rivka, who eventually was the one that came out to help Eliezer, as we're going to see, how did he know that she was the right one? What were the simanim, the signs, right, that she was the right one? The Hachaim delves into this at length. It's very interesting, and we're going to see how Eliezer specifically targeted certain midas, certain character traits, which actually teaches us a lot of important principles for us how to know and how to see how other people act and relate for us to determine their character. So Vayomer Hashem. So we're going to begin in the Perek Chav Daled, the beginning of Pasuk Yud Beis, where Eliezer now davens to Hashem. Now the Hachaim is bothered. Why did Eliezer have to daven? Avram Avinu already told him Hashem will help. Hashem will send the right woman to me. So if Avram Avinu said you have nothing to worry about, why does Eliezer have to daven? So says the Hachaim, Betuach Eliezer ba'adronai. Eliezer was betuach in Avram Avinu's tzidkis, and in that bitachon he knew shetfilas mekubelas, that Avram Avinu's tefillah would be mekabel. Asher yispalel hu yishlach malachai. As we learned, that Avram Avinu said Hashem will send the malach to help. V'hoisehu lispal. So Eliezer davened. Why? Shehu yeh roya lasei sadav al yada. Roy lasei sadav al yada. That he should be the shliach. Yes, it's true that Avram Avinu was going to have siyata d'shmaya. But who said this would be the shliach? Eliezer wanted that he should be the shliach to arrange the shidduch between Yitzchak and Rivka. Lezeh hispalel elakai. That's why he davened to Hashem. And if you read the pasuk, it says, "Please arrange that I should be for me." Right? Arrange for me that everything should go smooth. Why did Eliezer have to arrange that this was specific simanim that he needed, right? If you read the psukim, what does the pasuk says? That I will be by the well, and I will wait for someone to come to give me water, and someone should ask me if I want to drink. Why did he need this whole, as we say in the Yiddish, chad gadia? Just say, I should have siyata d'shmaya, that when I see the right person, I should know. V'tam shhutzruch las seidzeh, ki chosh, Eliezer was very nervous, l'vayatu mishpachas Avram. He must have known that Avram's siblings were not necessarily of the finest characters, and he was concerned that they may fool him. When they would find out that he came to take one of their daughters, they would send him a maidservant, that worked in their house, that he is from their children. And there was no DNA test, there was no paternity test, there was no way to know for sure that this specific girl came from the family. Specifically, he said there's certain character traits that are germane, that are specific to the family of Avram Avinu, which in reality is a shir on its own. If you think about it, the entire Klal Yisrael came from Nachar, and Avram, Sarah, Yitzchak, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, and they all had these tremendous qualities, as we're going to see. Eliezer knew that it only comes from the family of Avram. So if they would try to trick him, he would be able to notice right away that this lady, as we're going to see what are the qualities, is not from their family of Avram. Lazen is chakim v'ose kaseh dezeh. Ba'avchona muvhekes with a specific test. Shehi havatronus hamufleis shenoisenes yoser mima sheshol mimena. A yisoid, a principal yisoid in an Eishes Chayil, in Isha Tzenua, even a tzaddik, but specifically by Noshem, an Isha that does more than is asked. You can invite a guest, and you can give them the minimum. Or you can invite a guest and says, can I give you food? Can I give you extra? Do you want cake? Let me send you some food home. Let me give you something to take. Here's take for tomorrow. The guy didn't ask for tomorrow. He came for today. No, I want you to have vatronas. Extra generosity. Something that is not the norm, right? There are people that you come to them for a favor. You have people that won't help you. And you have people that help you. But then there are people that not only help you, they help you all the way, more than you expected. That is a siman that they come from the family of Avram Avinu, and that was exactly what Eliezer was looking to identify. Because Rivka came to Eliezer even before he finished davening, and she asked him, all right, what he was looking. She never even said, I come from Avram's family. She never even said, who are you? She right away saw a person in need, and Rivka said, how can I help you? And we're going to see more about this. As the next pasuk says, pasuk Tezvav, Terem kilo ledaber, before Eliezer finished davening to Hashem, Rivka came out with a barrel on her shoulder, and she said to him, what can I do for you? Right? And Eliezer said, can I sip a little bit of water? And she said, drink. And then she gave him to drink, as we're going to see. This means that while Eliezer was still saying the words, please, my master, referring to Hashem, Rivka came out. This is the siman number 1. As soon as he said, my master, who comes out? Rivka. So Eliezer understood that this also is a siman that she is for Eliezer's master, which is Yitzchak. Rivka yotzas. This means, Pirush, what does it mean she was coming out? It's a funny lashon. You should have said Rivka yotza or Rivka ba. Pirush misoiveves yitzia me'azulas. She was coming out not because she wanted to come out. With satfilas Eliezer osa Hashem. This is an incredible Hachaim. Excuse me. That Rivka was really not planning on coming out, says the Hachaim. Yoitzas, she was pushed out. Who pushed her out? The tefillah of Eliezer. Which means that sometimes a person can daven and can actually create a matzav, a situation where Hashem pushes an individual to do something that they were not necessarily planning on doing. Right? A person needs a ride somewhere. He sits and says, Hashem, please, I need a ride. Please, I get a ride. A guy's driving his car. For some reason, he says, you know what? I usually go down this street. Let me go down another way. And he says to himself, well, I never did this. Why did I do this? And all of a sudden, he sees somebody on the corner. That's what happened. Hashem accepted the tefillah of Eliezer to the point, says the Hachaim, that it created a desire in Rivka which could not be explained. Only the Hachaim could say such a thing, that caused it to come out. Kedei, why? That someone else should have come out first. So Hakadosh Baruch Hu, as soon as Eliezer started to daven and Hashem accepted the tefillah, immediately Rivka felt this urge, this desire to come out to get water. Kihi zois asher yildu libsul hi bazuga sheyitzak. Kamash Pirish Parshat Chayei. So Eliezer went ahead and now asked her, please let me sip. Now, hine himit mimashe hisna l'shol. If you go back and read word for word what Eliezer asked Hashem that the test should be and what actually he did, we're going to see there are slight nuances. And in those slight nuances, different wording, different way that the wording was asked and different specific questions, the Hachaim is going to teach us a few different things. Hine, himit mimashe hisna l'shol. Now, when speaking to Rivka, Eliezer asked even less than what he asked Hashem that he was going to ask. Kihu Amar, because when he davened to Hashem, he said, Eleo hati na kadech veshta. He said, I shall say, please push or, pour for me from your barrel so that I can drink. The Amar, but he didn't say that. He said, Hagmi'ini, Pirush lo gemini. Right? I only want to sip. Gam Amar ma'at. Gam loy Amar shetati hikad lashkoise kashnisa. He didn't ask that she should pour the drink into him. He just asked that, could I take some? So the Hachaim wants to know, what's the difference? If you asked Hashem that I want to ask Rivka to pour water for me, and then you ask her something else, so maybe you're changing the siman, and maybe your siman is not what you really wanted, so who said she's the right person? The time who Api Devrayim, Shira Eliezer automatically changes. The famous Medrash says, Shira Sha'alu Hamayim Lekrasa. Eliezer saw an unbelievable thing. He saw water rise up towards her. The siman zehu muvak. This was a crystal clear siman that this girl, this Rivka, had to come from Avram Avinu. He never saw this before. Now Eliezer, as they say, was there's a Yiddish word like Yefreilichut Malachim. Like Eliezer, every day he saw Malachim. To him, miracles were something that was, as common as we open the door. It was as common for him to see Malachim and Simonim and miracles. He wasn't never amazed by it. But he never saw this by the non-Jews. He never saw this by the Canaanim. So all of a sudden he now travels. He's in a family of Avram. The girl comes out exactly as he's finishing davening. So already he says, okay, something's here. And then as she's bending down to get the water, she doesn't even really have to bend down. What does he see? Well, he sees what happens like by Avram. The water starts to come up to her. So he already knew that this is already something that's special. Gam mazola heroi ki his mazel. There's very different ways to explain mazel. I don't know if this is the right word, intuition, gut feeling, but sometimes a person has a sixth sense that this is what he has to do or this is what he does not have to do. He understood that this is the right person. He didn't want to overly test her. And therefore, he didn't want to over-test her to lose out. Once he already started to see that this was the girl, he didn't want to, start to add to the test. Then Rivka tells her, when she said, please drink, and she lowered the jug to her hand and gave him to drink. Rivka told Eliezer, you want a small sip? Drink as much as you need to drink. Not that you should drink with your own hands. She wanted herself to do the mitzvah. Right? Sometimes a person comes to somebody for a favor and says, I can't do it. Here's $100, do it. And sometimes the person says, listen, you need help? Come, I'll help you. I'll schlep the boxes with you. Let me put them into the car. I'll be matriach in the mitzvah. That's why it says, Vatamahar vatorit kado al yoda. He didn't even, Rivka didn't even want Eliezer to extend himself to start to put his hand into the water. She immediately lowered the jug so she could pour it into him. Pirush, besides, she did not let him matriach himself to lift the barrel. She wouldn't even make him bend over to put the water into his mouth. So this is something that Eliezer realized right away. This was the key yisoid that he was looking for. He really didn't want to rely on miracles. It's true he saw a miracle that the water came up. But at the end of the day, it could be there's a little kishif involved, witchcraft. But when he saw that she, with electricity, with zrizus, lowered the barrel, brought it to him, don't do any work, relax, I'm here to serve you, I'm going to help you. A sorcerer doesn't do those things. Only a person that is roya, to have Yaakov come from him, to have the Shiftei Ka eventually come from them, that is a siman that extra step, the extra generosity, is a siman that she comes from the family of Avram, who's worthy to marry into Yitzchak. As we said, v'tam shle'om tekev gemad v'umiyal gam lamalacha l'tosefes v'atronis niskaves hakatzedekes shem hoysam makdem is loim gam lamalacha kodim shishtuhu. The Hachaim says an unbelievable thing. The Hachaim says, in truth, Eliezer said, I wanted my camels to drink. But Rivka said, no, first you drink. I want you to drink at the pace until you're comfortable, then I will serve your camels. Because if I tell you, okay, drink, and then I'll serve your camels, Rivka was afraid that Eliezer would take a quick drink and then say, okay, I'm okay, feed the camels. Rivka said, no, first you drink as much as you need. Now that you're finished, I will go and take the extra work to drink to your camels. Eliezer was shown this incredible sensitivity to a human that not only you don't pick up the barrel, not only I don't want you to bend over, I don't want you even to worry about how much you have to drink. You're benachas. You drink until you finish needing to drink. Once you're at that point, then I'll take care of your camels. But if Rivka, says Hachaim, would have told her Eliezer, okay, drink and then I will give your camels, she was nervous that Eliezer would take a half a cup, drink, and then say, okay, I can wait a few minutes. No, I don't want you to wait. First you drink, and then we'll go to your camels. The intent to teach us that Rivka was continuing to bring water until he finished drinking. Eliezer didn't have to do anything at all. Another concern, the Hachaim gets tremendous into the sensitivity of Rivka, and not only just the sensitivity, the chachma that Rivka had, which is incredible for a 3-year-old girl, which is what really impressed Eliezer, that this incredible woman, this incredible Isha, understood human psychology to the point that it wasn't enough just to give them food. It was how you give them the food. What happened was, Rivka was concerned that since Eliezer would be so thirsty from traveling, he would just be gulping down water, which actually wouldn't be good for him. So she gave him to drink at a very comfortable pace. Okay, here's a half a cup. Here's another half a cup. Drink, take a breath, let it, enter your body, let it circulate. She was afraid that if she would give him a whole jug, Eliezer would gulp the whole thing, and actually would be in a makam sakana. And therefore, she said to him, first, I'm going to give you to drink. Let's not be a rush. I'll give you a little bit more. Rivka didn't know who Eliezer was. She saw a person who was extremely thirsty, or at least that's what she thought. So out of Rachmanis, and to give love and to care, I'm going to give you to drink. I don't care how much you drink. A little bit, and I'll pour you more, and I'll pour you a little bit more, right? When a person is exceedingly hungry, if you put 10 pieces of chicken in front of him, he could eat all of it, and nothing, it won't help him. But if you say, okay, here's a half a chicken, I have more coming out, don't worry about it, and a little bit more, is it good? Can I give you some dips with that? Can I give you some drinks with that? All those things are what presented Eliezer with a picture that this Isha was not just an Isha who was generous. Not only he was an Isha who was Rahmanis. Not only he was an Isha who was a Chacham in how to give tzedakah and how to do chesed, but it was an Isha that was willing to take the extra step, the extra generosity to serve a stranger. This was a siman, and this is an incredible siman, that when you have a person, right, that doing chesed is an important thing. Olam chesed ibana. Then there's yechidim that not only do chesed, but they do extra. You need help? I'll help you out. You don't have anything to worry about. Don't be matriach yourself. You have enough on your head. Let me take the extra step. I want to do the mitzvah. And I'm going to do it in a way that will be most effective and most productive in order to help you. This were the simanim that Eliezer saw in Rivka that showed him beyond the shadow of a doubt that she was not just the right person for Yitzchak, but she came from the family of Avram, because only somebody from the family of Avram has this incredible midah of rachmanis, of ahava, and most importantly, vatronis. You're my guest. I'm being mevata. How can I help you? Right? There are certain rabbanim. You call them. How can I help you? What is it that you need? Talk to me. I'm here to help you. You already feel like $1,000,000. Well, today you would have to say more because of inflation, but you already feel special because the person is ready to help you take the extra step, and that is part of the chesed, part of the character traits of Rivka Imenu, the Isha Tzadekes, an Isha that came from a family of Rishoim Gemurim. Besul wanted to kill Eliezer. Lavan, we know, was the biggest Russia. We all know, and here, as we learned at the end of last week's Parsha in the Hachaim, came this tremendous diamond, Rivka, and it showed that these qualities were inherent in her, which were going to be passed on to Yaakov, to the Shiftei Ka, to Klal Yisrael, Albias, Goyal Tzedek, Amen.